Alright, it's shiny, it's new, and it's fresh. We're looking at the PlayStation 5 Pro. I mean, it looks nice, right? We can't deny that. It looks real good. I'm not one to complain about how the PlayStation looks. I think they all look pretty darn good. The presentation was very flashy and all the games look pretty great on it. But PlayStation has a long way to go in terms of earning back consumer trust. And so for me, someone who originally started out on the original PlayStation and PlayStation 2, I've been keeping my eye on the Pro just to see if maybe they could bring some more hope, some new hope into the consumer base. Now, when it comes to PlayStation, there's a fine line between creating hope and dashing hope, and I would say that they've dashed hope many times recently. Needing hope requires a certain level of low expectation. When you have low expectations, you're looking for anything to raise them, or you're looking for nothing at all. And that's kind of how the fan base has been. It's been a tough time to be a PlayStation fan. I mean, it could be worse, you could be Xbox, but still, they haven't gotten that same level of awesomeness, that same game lineup that they had with the PlayStation 4, 3, 2, any. So, it's been a tough go at it for the 5, and now with the PS5 Pro, the question is this a new hope? Before I reminisce too much about my days in the PS2 army, I just wanted to mention subscribing and liking if you liked the video or any of my other videos that you might have seen. I really appreciate it, thank you. So let's say you're the PS5 here, and you're at war, and the general before you is wounded, he's fallen to the ground, and the incoming force is rushing toward him. You, as the next general in command, the leader of a once great army, are being called upon to meet the incoming surge and fend it off. Or, if you're lucky, even prevail victorious against the onslaught. You, right now, in this scenario, are the PS5 Pro. You must do what the PS5 could not. You must give hope where there was none. These forces you're facing, charging towards you, they're the fan base. They're the PS2 gamers like me. They're public opinion. And we've done a number on Sony's great force. The PS5 stepped into the shoes of the retired PS4 general and lost battle after battle. So Sony knew they needed to do something. They needed to bring back the great army they once had. And they did. They created the PS5, but better. At what cost, though? It sounds pretty great on paper. It looks pretty great on video, as you can see. The games look awesome. But really, at what cost? If you ask me, I'd say perhaps the whole war. Now, it's fun to be dramatic in a video like this, and when I say the whole war, obviously I don't mean anything like the console war. Sony's not gonna completely go under because of this. People will buy this, and there's been a lot of discussion online about Sony sort of becoming the Apple of the gaming market. They're kind of the vintage, the prestige item console that you can buy. And so they've kind of found themselves in that scenario of the market. So people will buy this, and they'll expect a premium product. The only thing is, and the reason why I say they may have cost themselves the whole war, is because it doesn't appear that it's as powerful as it once seemed. It doesn't appear that it's worth that insane price tag. 700. That's a big number. I remember being a part of the great PS2 army. I was among those ranks. We had games like Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, Ratchet & Clank, Ape Escape, Burnout 3 Takedown, God of War, Metal Gear Solid, Naruto Ultimate Ninja, Shadow of the Colossus, SSX, Yakuza, Persona, Final Fantasy, Devil May Cry. The list is bonkers. And if we fast forward to the army of the PlayStation 5, let's see what kind of soldiers, what kind of exclusives it's offering. So we've got Astro Bot, which is awesome, Game of the Year contender. The Final Fantasy VII remakes, which aren't even exclusive. And 16 too, which is. You have Helldivers 2, which had a pretty big moment. And a whole bunch of remakes and remasters. Like I said, most of these aren't even exclusive. God of War Ragnarok. You had Spider-Man 2, which was. And most of these, like I was saying, released on the PS4. And Astro Bot, which is one of the strongest ones they have, just released. We're this far into the console, and one of their only exclusive just released now. Now, I'll admit, as a former soldier in the PlayStation 2 army, some of the games I listed there that were part of that lineup were part of the previous generation, perhaps, but they have plenty of games that were solely found on the PlayStation 2, and the numbers speak for themselves when it comes to the PlayStation 2, it being the highest-selling console ever. Now, when you compare the army of the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 5, you see an army of originals, or titles in existing series that just made the army, the series, the brand stronger. And all of that is going against an army of pretty remade soldiers, but once resurrected, not so impressive and frail. Everyone knows their gimmicks, their strengths, their weaknesses. That doesn't make for a good army if you ask me. The soldiers, the games, they offer no new value, only a more beautified version of the same thing, unless you're talking about Final Fantasy VII and the remakes, but those are arguably worse than the originals if you ask me. Now yeah, it hurts me, don't get me wrong. I have a PS4 Pro, and I actually recently bought that thing, and man, I was not expecting the fan noise. That kind of blew my mind because I have a Series X as well, and that thing's silent as it gets, but I love the PS4 games. They're awesome. So seeing that PS5 is not really giving me a reason to purchase it other than the fact that Xbox has even less of a reason, which is kind of insane, then it just is mind-blowing that they released the PS5 Pro, which sounds like in many ways is barely more powerful than the Series X, with a $700 price tag, when we're all hoping that hopefully PS6 is coming along soon and we can see the upcoming exclusives for that, and hopefully they'll be kind of in tune with the way it was with PS4, maybe some launch titles. But I mean, we do have a few things to look forward to. We have Ghost of Yotei. I think that'll be really cool and interesting. You got other games like, let's see, what was the one I was just thinking of? You have Wolverine. Sounds like it'll probably be a cool one on PS5 Pro. So, I don't know. It really seems like they've done some damage to their reputation here, if it wasn't already damaged. And it just kind of leaves me baffled as someone who hasn't even gotten a PS5 and certainly isn't considering getting a PS5 Pro with the price. So I just wanted to make a video to kind of talk about it and talk about how silly I thought it was, just to put my thoughts out there. So thanks for watching along, and I'll see you guys in the next one.